day I chose not to let anything win but my drive to get me to the top.
Frank Lee made the beat.
What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, I have Miss Kim Toney, the owner of Sleek Body Boutique and a fellow educator. How you doing today, Miss Toney?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am good. I wanted to say thank you for taking some time out of the busy schedule as you get things off the ground and start your break for talking to the audience to give us a little bit of background about the boutique today.
Okay, Sleek Body Boutique, we launched in November of 2020. So we are, I guess, a little bit about a month old. We are a online fashion clothing store for women. My goal is to cater to women of all sizes, from a size 0 all the way up until a plus size woman, because I feel like every woman deserves to feel sexy and beautiful and confident in the clothing that they're wearing.
Awesome. So I look forward to digging into it. Before we start, I always like to do a wellness check. And thinking about the pandemic. So how are you? How have you been staying safe during this pandemic?
I'm actually doing really well. As an educator, we're constantly exposed because we're around so many people on a daily basis. And so my motto is basically wear your mask. Make sure that you're not within 6 feet of someone, and just to kind of constantly wash your hands and protect yourself. Mentally, I'm okay with it because I feel like I'm following safety protocol. I know that I'm not exempt from it, but I refuse to live in fear. And as an educator, I feel like I have to give my whole self to my students and to my teachers. And I think when you live in fear, you're not giving your best. And so basically, I've been well so far. Knock on wood, praise God. And I just hope that it continues that way.
I agree. Very, very, it's a game. Every day it's like you just really got to make sure you make the right moves to keep yourself safe, but
exactly.
At the end of the day, the fundamentals are what get us through. Keep that mask on, wash them hands.
Exactly.
Yes. So when I created this channel and I started the KTTV, I wanted to highlight educators. And so in highlighting educators and giving information back to the community, I realized that educators have the best side gigs in the world. I mean, like it's, everybody puts up such a hard work front. And you see that side so much because that's where we at, and we're grounded and we're focused. But when you step outside and you see the creativity and the passion for other things that they may have just never came back to until the pandemic really pushed a lot of people, like I'm just so amazed. And so that goes with you as well, right? So before we get into the back boutique, can you give us a little bit of your background in education? And then why did you feel like this was the right time to even start the boutique with so much going on?
My name is Kimberly Toney, as I stated earlier, and I've been in education for over 21 years. I've had roles as elementary school teacher. I've been an assistant principal, and now I'm currently a principal at an elementary school with before the pandemic, about 1,100 students. Right now, I have about 500 students that are face-to-face learners, and about another 400 or 500 that's virtual learners, with the staff about 100 people. As an educator and as a principal, I always believe in growth. I believe that you set people up to grow, whether it's our students and growing in their academics or behavior, or teachers just growing in their career or their knowledge of content. And so I'm a believer of that myself, of there's no such thing as staying stagnant. And you shouldn't stay stagnant. So you're always looking for what is that opportunity or what is that growth factor that you need to put in yourself. And sometimes we have to push ourselves. That's a little uncomfortable. Education is comfortable. I know how to do it. I feel like I'm very good at it. So this was almost like a challenge for myself. of where I did have time to reflect during the pandemic. I think we spoke a little bit earlier that there are 24 hours in a day. And I know a lot of times you hear so many educators say, I'm so exhausted, I'm overworked, and I'm tired. That is all true. However, I also realized the time that I was spending doing things that, didn't benefit me in a sense. It's just kind of like, okay, this is my 24 hours, but how do they benefit me and my family? And so that's how I decided to start Sleek Body Boutique. It's just by something that I've always been passionate about. I love to dress up. I believe in looking pretty, and I think that every woman wants to look pretty, sexy, and confident in the clothing that they're wearing. And so I wanted to cater to that woman. And that woman is also myself because everything that I purchase is something that I would wear myself.
And when I tell you, from just seeing you, the times I have, the flyest person in the room on a consistent basis. So I think you are definitely in your passion and your calling.
I appreciate that.
So, and when you think about being that school leader and an entrepreneur at the same time, what type of knowledge has transferred that you use at the school, but also see that as very helpful in the business side?
I believe in customer service. And so that's one of the things that I am really, gearing myself toward with Sleek Body Boutique is just catering toward my customer. And that's the same way I view my role as a principal. How do I cater toward my customers, which are my students, my parents, the stakeholders, my teachers, and figuring out what are their needs? And I think once you find out what their needs are, you can better support and, you can support them in what they want and what they need. And I feel like the same thing for my customers at the boutique. Once I find what their needs are, I'll be able to better, serve them with their fashion needs to determine what clothing are the best fits for my website for what they need and where they're going. So I think that customer service aspect is very big. And I think the other side of it, as an educator and as a business owner, is that you have to make sure that you're running program. So when you have a business, there are days that I come home from work and it's things that I may not want to do, but you have to run program because if not, it will not be successful. And as an educator yourself, that's the same thing. You put systems in place, and when people don't follow those systems, what happens? A disaster. And so that's something else that I am, bringing over to the business side. It's like, okay, this is something you decided to do. It's a reflection of you, and you're going to give it your best and you're going to give it your all. And that is the same way I feel as a principal. If it's a reflection of me and my name is tied to it, we need to all be giving 100%.
And I agree with that. And that's how, thinking about that, I ask people when I'm helping them build their podcast, like, how do you automate things? How do you get your guests, or how does all that get streamlined in? Because it can get very tedious when you start getting a lot of people. So just understanding those processes is very important. So thank you for that. Great information. But this is the question.
Mm-hmm.
What are you selling? So what kind of clothes, what sizes? Give me some information about the products.
We have sizes from 0 to 24. We sell everything from jumpsuits, two-piece sets, rompers, joggers. This fancy little set that I have on that will probably be my New Year's Eve outfit. It's a sequins jumper. Again, very sexy, very classy. Very flattering to the full-figured woman, because I feel like at times we have to make sure that what we wear is flattering to our bodies and not, something that is giving off a look that we don't necessarily want to give off. We have dresses, shirts, jeans. We have everything. So, and I am adding to my inventory weekly because as a new entrepreneur, it was like, okay, how much do you order? Like, do you order too much? Did you order too little? And so as I'm getting more customers, I'm learning what sells and what sizes that I need to make sure I have stocked because certain sizes sell really fast. But we cater to all women type clothing. So if they check out my boutique at sleekbodyboutique.com, they will definitely see the inventory that we have, and I know that they'll be pleased with any selection that they make.
And so you are pretty much getting the orders, and then you direct shipping to the customer.
I have everything on hand. I've turned one of my bedrooms into my office and inventory storeroom. My bedroom is my storeroom. So again, it's a one-woman show right now, and it's just I tag everything. I also write personal notes to all of my customers, just thanking them, for their business because there are so many boutiques out there, and just kind of letting them know that I'm grateful that they selected my boutique out of all the choices that they had. So just kind of putting that little personal note to it.
That was a good tip right there. And I understand totally what you mean about those bedrooms. I got one room I used to record, one I'm making T-shirts. It's crazy, but I understand.
Yes.
But we got to get it in, especially if that's something that we want to do. Because, like I said, we got the education thing now. It's steady growing, but you kind of know how to manage that. So then you go, where's the next challenge?
Yes.
Right, and so here we are. So, and when we thinking about that, setting up a new boutique, we always look here at the channel to give information to somebody who maybe want to do what you're doing and slide off and start setting with that boutique. In getting it set up, being about a month old, what has been your biggest challenge so far, and how are you overcoming it?
My biggest challenge is selecting the right vendors. Because there will be vendors that you like, vendors that you're like, okay, this is not the quality of clothing I want to sell to my customers. Because as I stated to you earlier, everything that I put out is a reflection of me. And so I know that if it's something that I would not purchase myself, it's something I definitely don't want to have on the website and sell to my customers. So I think the biggest challenge is the vendors. The next challenge I had was building my website because I did it myself. Um, and so learning the ins and outs of, okay, what are the pricing? How much should I charge? Is it too little? Is it too much? So I think just finding that balance, but I've also as an educator, I did my best to educate myself um, by signing up for different webinars and reading as much as I can about people who start online boutiques. So as I venture out into this new chapter in my life, which is something I've never done, I need to educate myself. And as an educator, we know that it is so important that you educate yourself, before kind of jumping out there, even though I did jump out. I really just jumped out. But at the same time, I had been educating myself for a couple of months now and trying to, okay, well, what do I do? And it was not perfect. And things are still not perfect. And I think that at some point, then it never will be. But as long as I correct along the way and make those necessary adjustments to my websites, as of today, I started selling gift cards, e-gift cards. I added that to my website, and I started accepting credit card payments. So it's all a journey. It's a learning curve, and I'm kind of tracking a lot of the learning that I have, just so as I can help someone else, because as an educator, again, I'm about growth. And so I would like to share the knowledge that I have gained from starting this online boutique with someone else who is kind of was in the same place that I was in, where I was afraid to do it because I didn't know everything and I thought it had to be perfect. But so that's kind of like my big goal is like track and journal and just kind of share that knowledge with the next person, because I do believe that, online businesses is a platform that everybody pretty much goes to, because even before the pandemic, most of my shopping was done online. And so my thing is, if I can offer a service or something that people need, why not me? If everyone else is, why not me? And I think sometimes we think that, oh, it's oversaturated. And I read something somewhere was like, how many different types of breads do you see in a supermarket? So, which should stop you because someone is doing or want to do the same thing that you're doing? You are you, and your journey, your path is your journey, your path, and you shouldn't stop it because you feel like someone else has done it.
Very powerful words right there. Even for me, as in the podcasting, before this started, I knew nothing about marketing. I knew nothing about editing, recording, and so now, you know, the ads that I'm learning about, the marketing. I joined Clubhouse a few days ago, maybe, and since then, I've just been pouring into those rooms. I want to say I was up Saturday morning, like 7, how to monetize your Instagram, 8 ways to monetize. And so I'm just learning these things. I've created a folder, but it's all about getting that information. Because I tell people all the time, especially on my radio show, it's not necessarily these mysterious and mystic ways. It's the fundamentals being done consistently. So
Yes.
once you learn them, then just do them over and over. So the sky's the limit for Sleep Body, I see.
Yes, yes. And I mean, and that goes back into education. I think we say that too. Once you learn something, you replicate it. You don't have to change it. You just keep repeat
Yes.
to get the results you want. So I'll have to kind of pick your brain about Clubhouse because I just joined it a couple of days ago,
Okay.
but I haven't peeked into it to see what it's
Hmm.
really about. Someone
Yes.
invited me and I got in. So I guess that'll be one of my next ventures that I'll start
Love it.
looking into
Oh,
to grow my business. Because again, I want to put it out there because some really great stuff on the website.
yeah.
And as I stated before, I know that I can cater to every woman
Yeah.
fashion need.
For 2021, my word is balance, right? How do I find balance between the company, between the workhouse, just everywhere, and for myself? And so I know we talked about that a little bit. How do you find balance? What are some of the things that you do to be able to juggle all these pieces?
I structure my day. I have an agenda, a plan of what I need to accomplish. But in between that, I definitely make sure that I take time for my family. Sometimes even your family can take and deplete, all that you have because they need so much. But I also make sure that I take time for myself. And one of the things that well, not one, I do a lot of self care. I believe in self care from massages to the nails, the feet, the hair, just think the skin, just things that make you feel good because I do feel like when you look good, you feel good. Sometimes there's nothing that can stop you. So I'm big on balance too. When I saw that word, I was like, you know what? I think that's my word too. And I try to share that with my staff also. It's like you find balance in everything. I like to be perfect, but I don't believe in stressing myself out to be a perfectionist. Because I always tell people, I was like, you spend so much time trying to make it perfect, and sometimes it's still a mistake. So do the best that you can. And so that has been my motto for myself and for my fellow educators. Do the best that you can. And I know that I'm giving 100%, and some things are beyond my control. So I do believe in self care, and I encourage every woman to take time for yourself, not your spouse, not your children, but take that needed time for yourself because someone also shared this with me. If you don't take care of yourself, you're not able to take care of anyone else. And I know that there are so many people relying on me on a daily basis that I have to be okay in order to give them what they need to keep going.
Powerful message right there. Powerful, Miss Tony. I appreciate that.
You're
So,
welcome.
do you have any holiday promotions going? And where can they find all of the Sleep Body Boutique information?
They can go to sleekbodyboutique.com. They can find me on the web. They can also find me on Facebook at Sleek Body Boutique and on Instagram, Sleek Body Boutique by Kim. And I will be running an ad. The ad code for all of your viewers will get 15% off. The code is KTTEEB. So let me say that again, KTTEEB. Is that correct? So that is the 15% code that I will be running for up until the new year. And so they just put the code in there, they automatically get 15% off. And I probably once, and then I'll be running some more specials like later on during the year. But right now, I'll do a 15% for all of your viewers. And just as a thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast, as a new entrepreneur, sometimes you don't know how to figure things out. And when I saw it, I was like, this is a great opportunity that I need to take, in order to expand my business and to make it what I want it to be in 2021.
Yes, that's it. You got to take those leaps. So
Yes.
look, you already in the game. Plus, you already spent that money on that merchandise. So we gonna work.
Right.
Hey,
We're gonna get this merchandise out.
hey. Well, I appreciate that, and I want to say thank you. I look forward to getting the ass and even pushing those in the other podcasts, so that we can really get the word out. Home team, like I say, at the Hicks Elementary School, one team, one goal. So we're gonna make it happen, Miss Toney.
Thank you for having me on. I know that this will be great for Sleek Body Boutique. So to all your viewers, make sure that you check out my website, sleekbodyboutique.com.
That's it. This is KT for KTTV signing out. 100.